This right here is a perfect example of what happens when companies don't listen to the people they expect to pay for their products. They get thrown in the trash, and nobody shows up to watch the garbage products they're creating. And now we have a list of the biggest box office failures of 2023 via Deadline, and boy, did Disney lose big. Coming in at number 5, we had Haunted Mansion. Okay, this movie did not need to exist at all whatsoever. The Eddie Murphy Haunted Mansion still stands the test of time, and we didn't need any kind of reboot or sequel. We just needed them to leave this franchise alone, but they couldn't, and it lost $117 million. It was truly a flop for them. There was almost no material leading up to release for it, and then it came and it went. Number 4 was Wish, which they were really hoping was going to be the next Frozen. They thought that this was going to be massive. They had a lot of big names in it, like Chris Pine playing the villain, but that is what happens when you put a narrative first and you put modern audiences above the audiences you actually have, okay? Companies need to realize the modern audiences they're trying to appeal to don't actually exist. People want bad, scary villains again. We want the Scars, we want the Frolos, and instead, we're getting a villain who is singing about how he let her stay there for free and he treats her nice. That's not a villain. And unfortunately for them, nobody showed up to watch that movie. Coming in at number 3 was Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. $143 million lost. Boy, oh boy, was this movie such a disappointment. Phoebe Waller-Bridge kicking Harrison Ford to the curb. This didn't need to exist either, like all of the films on this list, because Indiana Jones, while I would have loved to see Harrison Ford play this character again and them actually do this character justice, it's sad to know that this will be the last time we see him as Indy, that this was his last chance to say goodbye to people who have been fans of this franchise for decades at this point. And it was such a sad, pathetic ending to his story, and who knows what they're going to do with the franchise going forward. They've talked about potentially doing a TV series and having it be a reboot. Either way, it probably shouldn't exist. And then coming in at number 2 was The Flash. This was buried by multiple things. The end of the DCEU that they're now rebooting. Of course, we had all of the controversy surrounding Ezra Miller and people's general hatred for Warner Brothers around this time. The Flash, while I didn't think it was the worst movie by any means, it definitely wasn't the best, and there were some decent elements. I thought some of the CGI was pretty good, not all of it, that's for sure. I, of course, do really love Michael Keaton. I thought that he really did a stunning job in this movie, but it was not enough to hold up the, falling house of cards. And then coming in at number 1 was truly the worst movie of 2023, The Marvels. Okay, this went through production hell behind the scenes. At first it was going to be Captain Marvel 2, and then they were going to make it a exclusive streaming service series for Disney Plus, and then they decided they were going to make it a movie, and they thought instead of one insufferable woman, let's put 3 into it. They made it like a comedy, and there were musical bits. It really did not come together to be anything that could represent what the MCU has stood for in the past. And I know the MCU is dead. We've all given up on the MCU, but The Marvels truly was the worst MCU piece of content, and I don't think that they're going to make a The Marvels 2 or Captain Marvel 3, whatever they'd want to call it. We've heard rumors that Brie Larson is sick of Disney. She does not want to come back and play this character anymore, and honestly, it's not like I think many of us would be very sad about that. I don't think many of us would care. They really tried to hype up Carol Danvers / Captain Marvel, and even though it does look like they are going to continue in the direction of the MCU with things like the Young Avengers and getting the team of Miss Marvel and Cassie Lang together. It does not seem like that plan is really gonna work for them, and it just seems like the MCU in totality does not have a clear direction anymore. It doesn't seem like there is any way for them to really fix all of the problems that they've shoved into this universe. And as you can see, Disney is one of the top losers at the box office of 2023, and judging by their 2024 slate so far and what they have planned for the rest of the year, it doesn't seem like 2024 is going to be much better for them. Maybe it's finally time for them to get rid of people like Bob Iger and Kathleen Kennedy, out with the old, in with the new. Not that I necessarily think that they'd get anyone better in those positions, because unfortunately they have hired so many activists and so many people who are so bad at their jobs. I don't know if Disney in totality can be saved, but we finally have the biggest box office failures of 2023 list, and boy, oh boy, did Disney lose big, and Hollywood is clearly suffering. But that's all that I had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.